How many of you all realize that knowledge is power? Knowledge is actually currency. How many of you all are at a point where you realize that your current monetary situation, financial situation, is largely because of or a direct result of your knowledge base, and that if you actually changed your knowledge base, if you changed your perception of the things that you see in this world, or the way you see things in this world, if you changed your perception, it would actually allow for you to further increase or expand on your monetary equation as a whole. Over the past few days, if you will, I've gone through a lot of studies and have been working to make different changes and adjustments in the things that I present, the way that I present. One of the things that will be happening is that I won't be doing very many more of these live calls on here, if you will. What I'm doing is putting together a program that will be a knowledge-based program, and it'll be designed to help individuals expand their thought process as a whole. Because I have a fervent belief in the fact that in the expansion of your thought process, so comes the expansion of your monetary equation. In the same token, same breath, the more your thought process contracts, the more your monetary base contracts. So when you are at a phase where you're focused in on negativity, when you're at a point where you're focused on things that are essentially irrelevant, if you will, it becomes increasingly difficult for you to actually be at a point of really taking your money to a whole nother level, whole nother stratosphere. So what we're going to go through today, I don't know if you all were on here yesterday, but if you were on here yesterday, we dropped a lot of bombshells. Yesterday, we're going to do the same. Today, I have my study group together, and as I mentioned before, one of the things that we're going to be doing is that as I change and adjust everything, I will have a new program, and that program will be a private program. So like I said, I won't be doing very many lives on here. Progression forward, you'll need to be a part of our group in order to get this information. So all of that being said, let's go ahead and let's dive in. Haki, you're going to be my reader today, man. So let's get to reading. I want you to start off with Two Faces of Debt. I think if individuals start to understand the real power behind debt and the utilization of debt, if you will, that you'll be able to take things to a whole nother stratosphere. I also have a special treat for those people that are in negative debt. We're going to go through something today as well. So if you're on this live, I recommend that you actually try your very best to stay on this live, if you will, because there's going to be a lot of information that'll be dropped to you all.
Text their friends.
So let's go ahead and let's get situated with it. So let's scroll down. Two Faces of Debt. All right. Federal Reserve Bank, Chicago. This is a memo that was put out by them. Okay. Can you do me a favor and go ahead and I'm going to hold here so everybody can see what you're reading, but can you go ahead and start at the top, please?
All right. Two faces of debt. No one likes to be in debt, yet debt often allows people to raise their living standards and increase their productive capacities. Debt entails risk and future obligations, but can also provide a means of generating future income. Everyone, at some time or another, has seen the disastrous consequences of the excessive accumulation of debt by a person or business. Conversely, growth and prosperity have flourished at times when overall indebtedness was rising rapidly, and some economic slowdowns have coincided with the periods of debt reduction. Thus, debt appears to be both good and bad, a paradox that has challenged philosophers for centuries. This booklet examines debt in the American economy and the composition and distribution of debt between major groups of debtors and creditors. While the review points out some risks that can be associated with an over-reliance on debt, It shows the vital role debt can play in channeling savings into productive investment.
Now, this next key area was just really, I just want to go here, and we'll read through this, and then we'll stop and we'll move on to the next document. But that title alone was the area that I really wanted individuals to actually get an understanding of.
Debt is credit.
Debt is credit. Debt is credit. Debt is credit. Debt is credit. Debt is credit. Debt is credit. Debt is credit. Credit is money. Credit is money. Credit is money. So when you're saying that you want to be debt-free, you are saying you want to be as broke and as penniless as possible. That is what you are actually physically saying when you say, I want to be debt-free. You know how you got these pastors and stuff like that they run around, they tell you be debt-free, 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 debt-free. We want to be debt-free. Don't owe nobody. Debt-free. What they're saying is you want to be broke. Don't have no money. Have no money. And what you do have, give to the church.
Just 10% though. For the rest of your life.
Yes. But serious talk. Money is credit. Credit is nothing but an entry into the ledger, if you will, of the accounting books. So you have the debt is on one side of the ledger. So if you can imagine, I don't have anything to draw on, but just imagine, I'm going to just draw this across the screen like with my finger. So just imagine across the screen you got a line, then you got line down, and you got on one side it says credit, on the other side it says debt. So think of it in that particular sense. It's both the same thing. It's the same thing. It's just literally one is your asset and one is your liability. But your liability is the asset of someone else. Think about that for a minute. Process that for a minute. Your liability is the asset of someone else. Your asset is someone else or some other corporate entity. It is their liability. You see what I'm saying? So, for instance, if you work X number of hours, if you will, for Joe Blow Corporation, and Joe Blow Corporation now is responsible for crediting your account. Do you see what I'm saying? So the crediting of your account creates a void in Joe Blow Corporation. You understand what I'm saying? So we want to change and adjust our thought process or our view with regards to money, because the minute and the moment that we actually can change and adjust our thought process with regards to what debt is and what credit is, we now can start to be able to increase, one, our business, increase our lifestyle, or whatever it is that we're looking to do. We can increase these things with the ability to be at a stage of seizing power over debt, seizing power over credit. So I wanted everybody to at least get this, little part of it down, if you will. Again, for everybody that's on here, if you got the opportunity to be on here at this particular point, I recommend that you try your very best, to sit on here through the whole course, of this, if you will. This will be one of those last few lives that I actually do in this particular portal. I'm making things where now there'll be a Zoom portal that individuals will have to go through. So again, I recommend that you actually work your best to stay on here, because we're going to drop some serious knowledge on here this evening. Lastly, while I'm on here, again, it's the same situation that I spoke to you all about before yesterday, is that if we get individuals on here here that, it's in a trolling capacity, if you will. It's you all's responsibility to be at a stage of position of trolling the hell back at them, if you will, so that we can go ahead and we can push through and continue with the knowledge, and we're not on here dealing with nonsense, if you will. Okay, so debt is credit. Check this out. I'm gonna jump to a quick document right quick, hook y'all up. So we're gonna come out the gate early on this. Bam. Hang on. Let's see. Yes. Is this it? Yep, this is it. Okay. So here's why I said that everybody, what's going on, Keys? We got 19 Keys on here, man. What's going on, fam? So what I was sitting in working to help individuals understand is just your power over commerce as a whole. See, the thing is, I was sitting in, I was describing to my group earlier as I was sitting and politicking with them. I was telling them, I said, people that are at a stage, where, something ends up happening in your community, someone, police officer kills somebody, or just whatever, just something bad happens in the community. Everybody wants to go and they march and they do some, scream, yell, cry, break shit, riot, whatever it is. And the thing I explained to my group is that, I said, well, the truth of the matter is it's actually frivolous to actually do that. The reason why it's frivolous to do that is because the only thing that changes and adjusts commerce is commerce. The only thing that changes and adjusts commerce is commerce. But what most people don't realize is that most people don't realize they're currently interfacing with commerce. So, as much as we want to sit and we say, we would like to talk about colors and things to that effect, black person, white person, yada, 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 if you will, the reality is what we're talking about is one corporation versus another corporation. Whether that corporation, whether the asset of that corporation, i.e. the parcel of real estate, i.e. their body, whether that body is of a dark tone body, if you will, or whether it's a light tone body, it's still an asset of a corporation, if you will. So the only way you change things within commerce is by being at a point of engaging and changing commerce. You can't go into commerce, if you will, and try to change commerce with morality. Whoa. What did he just say? You can't go into commerce and try to change commerce with morality. What's going on, Sauce Boss? That's what everybody keeps missing. Is that the key is you change commerce with commerce. You fight commerce with commerce. So if there's an issue and a problem in your community, if you will, the way you have to address that issue and that problem is with commerce. You know what I'm saying? And so when I'm sitting and saying addressing it with commerce, what I mean is, okay, and so for those that don't actually understand commerce, commerce is any commercialized transaction. So that's the fact of that if you go work a job, if you will, that job essentially for the hours that you are effectively putting in, if you will, they are engaging in a commercialized transaction by way of the fact that they are transacting Federal Reserve notes as a medium of exchange in the utilization of your time. So you are effectively issuing your time in exchange for Federal Reserve notes. The exchange of the Federal Reserve notes is considered a commercial transaction that effectively has taken place. So when someone gets elected to office, if you will, there's a whole bunch of commercial exchanges that take place during that time period, and we'll go through that in a moment. But I wanted to first jump on this document because I said, one of the very first things that you have to realize that in being powerful, if you will, is you have to be able to, wield the sword, at your beck and need and desire. So I told individuals a couple of days ago, if you will, if you actually want to be, wealthy, and what you're really saying is you want to be the most indebted person on this planet, meaning you want to have so much damn debt, it's ridiculous, if you will. Now, I'm not necessarily sitting sitting and saying negative debt. I'm sitting and obviously saying positive debt, if you will. But in the acquisition of positive debt, i.e., credits, if you will, you're going to incur negative debt, if you will, i.e., the fact that if I go and I buy a commercial building right now, in buying that commercial building, I may take out a loan line of credit, if you will, for that commercial building. What is my hopes, desires, is the fact that the real estate component actually appreciates in value, and should it appreciate in value, then my credits effectively go up in that particular equation. My credits, you call it Federal Reserve notes or USDs, if you will, US dollars. But it is credit. My credit increases, if you will, if the value of that real estate goes up. However, if the value of that real estate goes down, if you will, then essentially instead of receiving credits, what do I have? Debits. Instead of having credits, I now have debits. So right now, if you're currently sitting in the real estate market and sitting in the real estate market, let's say for the sake of saying the house that you have, let's just use for the sake of saying it's $200,000 at a current appraised value, if you will. You have a mortgage on that house of, let's just use for the sake of saying you got a mortgage of $190,000 type situation. If the market effectively dips at all, then what you have at that very stage is you now have a debit equation. You owe more money on that property. You owe more. There's more debt that is owed on that particular property than the credits for the property, or the credits that are allotted for the property itself.
It's also known as a short sale.
Well, that's if you were at a stage to where you had to get rid of the property, then you would effectively be at a short selling style capacity. But absolutely. So the thing that I wanted individuals to get their mind wrapped around is that the biggest issue that people have is that they don't actually overstand money. Because the minute that you actually overstand money, then you realize that first and foremost, money is nothing but a tool. Think of money in this particular sense and vein. Money is nothing but soldiers. Money is nothing but soldiers. I hope everybody's grabbing hold of this. Money is nothing but soldiers. So your dollars that you have, think of them as little soldiers. And those little soldiers, you got two options with the little soldiers. With the little soldiers, you can either, one, stick them all in the barracks. You can stick all your soldiers in the barracks, right? You call it the bank. Okay, you call it a bank. Maybe it's underneath your pillow. Maybe it's, you know what I'm saying? In your shoe box or whatever have you. But you put your soldiers in the barracks, right? Now, when you stick your soldiers in the barracks, what happens is you got a war going on. There is a commercialized war going on every day in your life. There's a commercialized war going on every day in your life. You might say, okay, well, Billion, what do you mean? There's a commercialized war going on every day. Every day that you breathe, it costs. It costs some of them soldiers. Every day that you breathe, it costs some of them soldiers. Right? So what you did was you locked the soldiers up. You locked the soldiers up inside the shoebox, inside the barracks. You understand what I'm saying? And you told the soldiers, don't do nothing. Don't do shit. So what the soldiers do, remember, your money, they soldiers. Okay? Your money is soldiers. So you lock the soldiers in the barracks. The barracks is the bank. The barracks is under your bed. The barracks is in the shoebox. You locked them in the barracks and told them, don't do nothing. So, what do? They sit inside the barracks and just die. Because there's a war going on outside. So they in the barracks, locked up, just dying. They're just sitting there. If you can just imagine, if I'm going around the room, here's one soldier. He just died. Go ahead, die for me, man. Come on, die. Boom, one dead. Boom, the next one dead. Boom, the next one dead. Now I'm down 3 soldiers right now.
Wait a minute. How your middle soldier die like this?
Yeah, he did die. I don't know what happened,
He's going out smooth.
my middle soldier just died smooth. But my soldiers is dead. So now, so what should actually be happening if I realize that my money is actually little soldiers? If I realize my money is little soldiers, then what I want my soldiers actually to do? I want them to go out, Not just fight. Not just fight. No. I want them to go and recruit. I need a bigger army. My soldiers, my money is supposed to work for me. It's supposed to go out and recruit. Think about it. Process it. If I lock them in the barracks, they just gonna die.
That's a crazy way of thinking of it.
They just gonna die. But if I send them out in the world and send them out in the world, they gonna die because there's a war outside. There's bullets flying everywhere. They gonna die as I send them out. But at least if I sent them out, they talked to another, soldier and was like, yo, you need to come and join the army. Come and join the army. You feel what I'm saying? Come join the army. Come on in and join. And they multiply. You see what I'm saying? So now you might have had one soldier that went out into the world and that soldier died, but two of them came back. Come on now. They multiply. That's what money is. That's what money's supposed to go work for you. Debt. So when you get credit, you're supposed to utilize credit to acquire more credit. That's the purpose of credit. You don't acquire credit. You don't acquire credit to go and acquire negative debits. That makes no sense. Because the problem is that eventually what happens is if you go out, you acquire a bunch of credit, but then you essentially use all your soldiers on a frivolous war. You went and bought, Jordans. You know what I'm saying? You went out, it's Christmas time right now. It's Christmas time. So as it's Christmas time, let me use all my soldiers so I can make the rest of my family happy by buying them some shit that they ain't gonna fucking use in 2 months from now. Let me use my soldiers on some frivolous shit. So as I use my soldiers, they all dying. Listen, Black Friday, man, the reason why it's Black Friday, because it was a whole bunch of soldiers that died on that day. It was a whole bunch of soldiers that died on that day. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of people.
They went AWOL and just went to play.
You know what I'm saying? So the thing is that what should be happening right now, I had somebody sit and say, oh man, it's Christmas time, money gonna be a little tight for me in the whole night. I said, why the fuck is it gonna be a little tight? Well, I gotta take care, I gotta get Christmas gifts and so on. I say, for what? I said, the best Christmas gift you can get is some goddamn stock. You going and getting your kid a damn toy. Man, you better get them some goddamn stock in a damn company. Come on. You going in debt to buy some frivolous shit. Killing your soldiers for some frivolous shit. Oh, I'm in the Christmas spirit. Yeah, I got to be in the Christmas spirit. You got to be in the Christmas. No, what you need to be is you need to be in the acquisition of fucking capital spirit. They need to reverse the whole holiday. For this holiday, what we do is we acquire assets for this holiday. That's all we do. That's all we do. What y'all do for Christmas? We acquire assets. That's the only thing we do. Okay, so now let me tell you the next thing that individuals have happen is people are naturally afraid. They're afraid. So because most people don't spend time learning to understand law, because most people don't spend time learning to understand law, learning to understand the very things that govern their life, if you will, then what happens is they get this fear factor. And this fear factor is I don't want to owe nobody. Because if I owe somebody, then I'm going to get a debt collector that call me. And what most people don't realize is when debt collectors even call you, they're violating the law because they know you don't know shit. Come on. They violating the law. They violating the law because you don't know they violating the law. So they just violate it anyway. To keep that shit moving because you don't know shit. Because when you don't know shit, then you run around here with blinders on and shit, calling yourself colors and shit. Oh, yeah, man, in America, black people in America, man. White folks in America do is wrong. Again, you blinders. You don't know who the fuck you are. When you don't know who the fuck you are, then you fall for any goddamn thing because you don't know who you are. So, Let's break this shit down. Let's get an understanding. Debt collector call you. Come on, Hakeem. This is a conversation we have when the debt. I told y'all I was gonna give y'all some gems and shit. So here's a conversation we gonna have when the debt collector call. Go ahead. Matter of fact.
Where we starting?
Matter of fact, come on. I need somebody else. Come on around here, y'all. You be the damn debt collector. I can't use Jay because Jay gonna fucking have us here all night stuttering and shit. You can't use Jay. Come on, CJ. Come on. I need somebody else to read.
He said cut the light
So who you want to be? You want to be the debt collector, or you want to be the you want to be the person on the other end? What you want to do?
I need to be the person on the other end.
You want to be the person on the other end? All right, okay, all right, CJ. So you gonna be the debt collector. So let's go. Where we start?
Commentary on the morality of debt.
Okay, so go ahead and read that first part for everybody so they can see that.
Okay, commentary on the morality of debt. We believe that if we owe, we should repay. The fallacy is that we rarely owe when a collector calls. The following phone scripts are not mean-spirited when we realize that the caller is trying to get us to pay money that we don't owe. All right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now, all right, so continue to read.
Okay, in spite of caller ID or other screening, if a collector calls you, thank you for calling. May I have your full name? Okay, so
now we into the
that's
thing.
me.
All right.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Okay. Thank you for calling. Do I have a contract with
No.
your company?
You're here.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you for calling. May I have your full name, please?
Go ahead. Give me your name.
My name is Haki,
Thank you. Please spell your full name for me.
H-A-Q-I.
Now, Haki, what is your social security number?
I don't give you any. I'm not giving you my social security number.
Okay. So what happened next?
I just need to have your identity, so I will be suing the correct person if you violate my rights under the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act.
Okay. Now let's stop. So,
I need my glasses.
yes, you do need. Where's your glasses at? Go get your glasses.
I'm blind.
Like, Lord, give me somebody over here that can see. Lord, have mercy. Hey, where your glasses at, child? Okay, so let me tell you what we got going on right now. Okay, what she just read was actually the statement that you are making to the debt collector themselves when they call you. That was the statement that's actually being made to the debt collector. So instead of like you avoiding the debt collector, you avoiding they call or whatever, hey, they calling you in the whole nine, and you like, man, I ain't answering the phone for these folks in the whole nine. When you are at a point where you at a position of power and knowledge, when you're at a point of position of power and knowledge, then you start down this particular process. Read that one more time.
Oh, okay.
You get
So
it now? Yes, this is
me.
This is you. I just called you. Hey, can I speak to Haki? And then at that particular point in time, you know who the hell you talking to. You like,
Thank you for calling. May I have your full name, please?
Exactly. Let me go back so they can see that. Go ahead. Go ahead. Now read it again, Haki. This is you now.
Okay, thank you for calling. May I have your full name, please? Oh, thank you.
Go ahead.
Please
my
spell your
name
full name for me.
my name is Joe Piscopo.
Thank you, Joe. Please spell your full name for me.
Why you want me to spell my full name for you?
I just need to have your identity, so I will be suing the correct person if you violate my right under the Fair Debt Collection Practice Act.
Wait a minute, you about to sue me because what? No, I'm calling you about a debt that you owe my company.
Your full name for me, please, and give me your.
Wait, but I was calling you because I was here. I'm calling to collect.
I need your.
You know you owe Verizon Wireless $1,000.
I just need your social and your full name so I know who to sue. I want to sue the correct person. I don't want to sue the wrong person.
But wait, why you? I just work for the company, man.
If you violate my rights under the Fair Debt Collection Practice Act, it's over for you.
But I'm saying I just work for the company though. So how you gonna sue me?
Give me your name and your social security number.
I'm not about to give you my name and social security number.
What are we talking about then?
We were talking about the fact that you owe Verizon Wireless $1,000.
You trying to violate my rights under the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act?
What you mean? What you mean? I'm trying to violate your rights?
Piscopo?
I'm not.
Joe Piscopo? Who you work for, Joe? Oh, Joe? Are you there, Joe?
Are you there, Joe?
Hey, are you there, Joe?
Joe done got me.
Joe done hung up the damn phone.
I thought I didn't know his name. I got his name the first time.
Joe done hung up the damn phone. Joe.
Yo, my job ain't that serious.
Hey, they don't pay me enough for this.
Debt collector anymore.
Okay, so let's skip to the next one. So we got an or. So what you gonna
That's
sit and
the one I
say
read.
during the or? All right, read the or, CJ.
Thank you for calling. Do I have a contract with your company?
Yeah, you got a contract with my company. You owe us $1,000.
That's not my question. Do I have a contract with your company? Don't ever call me again.
Wait a minute. Wait. Wait.
She gone.
Wait. Wait a minute. Okay, let's go to the next one.
All right, thank you for calling. I was not expecting your call, and I'll need a while to look up some helpful information. Would you please hold?
Okay, yeah, I hold.
It says
Don't wait for the answer. Put the phone down and walk away. that is my mom. Don't touch that phone. I'm like, the phone is off the hook. I know somebody on it. Don't touch it.
Just leave them there on hold. Okay, let's go to the next one.
This household does not conduct business over the telephone. If you have anything you wish to communicate to this household, please put it in writing, sign it, and send it by the U.S. Postal Service.
So instead of y'all avoiding these phone calls, what you should be doing is sharpening your damn skills. Sharpening your skills in commerce. Sharpening your skills in communication. Don't run away from it.
Just like that.
Don't run away from it. You see what I'm saying? Shit, you like shit. I want to be at a point. I want to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? I want to politic with you. All right, what's the next one? What's the next one we got?
You can have the phone company add privacy director to your phone.
Okay.
And you can have the phone company change your number and keep it unpublished and unlisted.
Okay. Read this bottom for me.
You can have the phone company add caller ID and screen your calls and not take any incoming calls that are listed as unknown name and or unknown number. Do not have any conversations with any caller representing any bank, collection agency, or law firm or attorney that tries to claim they are representing your credit card company. They will try to coerce you into agreeing to a new contract.
Right.
Be determined not to get caught in their con game.
Yes. So what happens in most debt equations, in most negative, bad debt equations, what actually happens is there is no contract. And because there is no contract, what they attempt to do is to get you to recontract with them, if you will. And so what they'll do is they'll even, and that's another thing, when you all get these notices in mail, when you get these notices in the mail, don't throw the notices away. You sit and you get them and you don't open the damn things, if you will. And you think if you don't open them, you basically just hiding from it or whatever have you. You don't want to hide from the shit. Don't hide from it. What you want is you want to open it up. And if you all are a part of my my group that I'm putting together, my commerce group as a whole, there's going to be certain letters that I'm going to give to you that you actually turn around and you send that shit back to them. You know what I'm saying? And here's the reason why you don't hide from the letter. When a debt collector sends you an actual sends you a letter, what they're essentially doing at that very stage or at that very point is that they are contracting with you. When a debt collector sends you documentation, they are effectively contracting with you. You understand what I'm saying? And so now, with contracting with you, if you will, if you do not answer within a 30-day period of time in accordance with law, that is considered droit. Droit means that you have accepted the terms to the agreement via acquiescence. Meaning, your lack of response is acceptance. It's considered to be non-contest. You're not contesting the claim. I'm claiming that you, Haki, you owe me $100,000, and then I sent it to you. You understand what I'm saying? I sent it to you via certified mail.
No.
You got it. It told you at the bottom, if this is not correct, then you need to contact my office.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? If this is incorrect, you need to contact my office. Other than that, within 30 days, the debt will now appear on your credit profile. And because you all were not intelligent enough to file copy claim copyrights on the corporate entity you call your name, because you weren't intelligent to file copy claims copyrights, those entities did not violate your copy claim copyright. See, if you were intelligent enough to actually file copy claim copyrights on your names, the namesake you're running around calling you. You understand what I'm saying? And as I told you all last night, if y'all actually listened to what I was saying last night, I told all y'all should all have 20, 30 different corporations. So your name should be Joe Blow, Stephen P.Q., Michael Craig, David Jackson, John Williams, Michael Stevenson. You should have all kinds of goddamn names. These are all corporations. So you filed all of these corporations, and then you turned around and you filed the copy claim copyrights on all of these. You filed the copy claim copyrights on all of those. So now, when someone then turns around and they put something on a credit profile of John Williams, they put something on the credit profile of John Williams, and you own the copy claim copyright of John Williams Corporation. You own the copy claim copyright, right? Okay, check out what happens. When someone effectively publishes a negative item on your credit profile that you own the copy claim copyright to, when someone puts a negative item on that credit profile, that is publishing. Publishing is a commercialized transaction. Publishing and a commercialized transaction, as it being a commercialized transaction, means that you, the holder in due course of the namesake John Williams, you are now owed money. No different than if right now you went and started singing karaoke at the bar, Michael Jackson songs. Just go sing Thriller right now, karaoke. The bar will get charged. They will get charged for you being in there singing because it's a part of their catalog. So ASCAP, BMI, CSAC, they all go and actually collect royalty payments from these different nightclubs, bars, so on and so forth, because the different artists have claims to those songs. You understand what I'm saying? So when you go in and you're in the bar, and you're singing, if you will, what you're doing at that very stage, if you will, is called a PA, a performing arts copyright. So you're violating when you're saying you in there, you singing Thriller, or you in there beat it, right? You just violated Michael Jackson's copy claim copyright on that song, the performing arts rights on that song, which means that now somebody got to pay. Somebody got to pay. So the same thing is applicable when someone files a TX copyright form. TX is basically a text copyright form. You understand what I'm saying? When someone files a TX copyright form, then at that particular point in time, the debt collector went and published your name with negative item on that namesake, if you will. At that particular point in time, you can't wait for the debt collector to contact you. Why? Because as soon as they send you notification, you're going to reverse the notification with sending them a bill. because you already put in the public how much you charge when someone violates your copy claim copyright. Like I had an individual that was on here, if you will, that they violated my copy claim copyright. They don't know that I had already published where they live. Where they live, I published in the well of the court already. They didn't know that I published what my fee-based agreement is. So every time they type the namesake, every time they say the namesake, if you will, in a commercial capacity, I charge. And then what I do is I send a bill. I wait until I accumulate enough money from my fee agreement that is sitting in the well of the court. By the way, not only is it sitting in the well of the court, but then I also did this one real unique, real dope situation. I'm going to hook y'all up right quick. You know, and again, it's levels to this shit. So, you know, I'm telling you, everybody, you know, right now I'm developing and cultivating, you know, my new knowledge-based institute, if you will. You all definitely need to sign up to it. Like I said, these will be the last, you know, few live calls that I do like this. You know, the rest of this is going to be in a private capacity. But what I did was I filed it into the well of the court, but then I also put it on public notice in their local newspaper. When I put it on public notice in their local newspaper, I allowed for it to run over a certain set of time. That is considered to be perfecting the lien. I'm perfecting the lien. You see what I'm saying? Because now what I'm going to be able to essentially demonstrate in court, I'm going to be able to demonstrate the violation of my copy claim copyright. I'm going to be able to demonstrate the fact of that there's already a fee-based agreement in place. That fee-based agreement is in the well of the court, and I published it in their local area, in their localized newspaper. I published it so that all could see. I gave public notice. And it's been running. So now my next thing is that once I am at a phase to where I have accumulated enough capitalization, meaning they have damaged me enough, then at that particular point in time, I proceed forward with filing liens and levies against their assets.
Just like they do when they garnish you.
Just like they do when they garnish you. So what I'm saying is that instead of you being afraid of a debt collector, if you will, what you have to do is you have to learn how to be able to deal with the debt collector, because they're violating, in most instances, they are violating your copy claim copyrights if you have been at a point of actually filing copy claim copyrights. But when you are unprotected, when you are doing business unprotected, you understand what I'm saying? Then you're at a point to where, yeah, you should be afraid because the other party knows some shit that you don't know. So that's why I started this with, hey, you all need to be at a stage where you are in knowledge. Everything you do is in knowledge, because that's the power. That's the wealth. Yes, I'm going to start down the process of effectively garnishing that individual's wages. Yes. All of a sudden, out of the blue, their employer will get notification that there is a levy placed upon that particular entity, no different than child support. Knowledge is power, without question. Knowledge is power, without question. You want to go back to here? No, we got another area we go to. Was it? No, we got. No, we got more stuff. We got more stuff to show them. Hold on. I don't know how much time we got left or whatever have you on here. You know, I don't answer questions on here right this very moment. I'm gonna answer it. I'll do a second one so that I can answer whatever questions you all have. What is this one? Oh, this was the commercial lien. So here, I just wanted to just read that long range situation for an individual one more time.
Okay, long range. You can file a commercial lien on property in another state or on property you've never seen. With a commercial lien, you can attack the personal property of your adversary at long range rather than merely fighting to defend your own property in your own backyard. This offensive capability makes the commercial lien a powerful legal weapon. With a commercial lien, you can literally take the fight to their backyards.
So a part of my new program that I'm putting together is a lot of this literature is going to be available, for individuals, as you are a part of the, the organization as a whole. So I just, did want to make that that information available to you all, so you all know that that is something that's going to be in play as well. Hang on, I got some more stuff I need to go over with y'all. Hang on, I got to just find the documents right quick. Just hold tight for me 1 second, y'all. Let's see. Hang on. Mail, yeah, I hit the wrong thing. Oh, that's the prison situation. Commercial lien, silent weapon. Yeah, see, right now, y'all need to be positioning yourselves the way y'all buying up the stock of this particular company. Does this apply to colleges? Yes. Yes, it does apply to colleges. Yes, it does apply to colleges. Absolutely. It applies to any, because it's all commerce. It doesn't matter. It's just like I sat and said earlier about black and white type situation. It doesn't matter whether a person is black or white, because they're just nothing but parcels of real estate. So you keep dealing with people like they're, like people aren't people. People, who got the definition of person? What's the definition of person? Come on, man, you got to read loud so these people can hear you.
A man considered according to the rank he holds in society, with all the rights to which the place he holds entitles him, and the duties which it imposes.
That's definition number one. What's definition number two?
A human being considered as capable of having rights and of being charged with duties, while a thing is the object over which rights may be exercised.
What's definition number three?
That's the only definition.
You're in Black's Law Dictionary. What edition? Who has the definition of corporation? Okay, give me the definition of corporation.
A franchise possessed by one or more individuals who subsist as a body politic under a special denomination and are vested by the policy of the law with the capacity of perpetual succession and of acting in several respects, however numerous the association may be as a single individual.
Yes, go to the second one.
An artificial person or being endowed by law.
What? What'd you say? Say that again. Say it loud.
An artificial person or being.
This is corporation?
Yes.
We'll say the definition of corporation, the second definition says what?
Artificial person.
An artificial person. An artificial person. A corporation, Black's Law Dictionary, is a artificial person. An artificial person. Okay. So let's continue to push forward. So the reason why I brought that up is what most people don't realize is that you all are operating as corporations. Everyone is operating as corporations, as artificial persons, if you will. You're operating as corporations, but your body, you have to create a mental separation with this. Your body is real estate. Your body is real estate. So you kind of have to have a split mind situation in this particular component. Because with a split mind setting, you one part of your mind says, okay, this part of my mind, this is the controller of the actual of the corporation. The other part of your mind says, okay, I'm nothing but real estate. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so now when you have that split mindset, then now you understand how the courts see you, and understand that the bank and the court is the same thing. Bank and the court is the same thing. Think about it. Process it. Y'all already feel that. I ain't really have to say that for you to actually really feel that way. what I'm saying? Get a traffic ticket. Watch how you feel when you go to court. Like you just went to the damn bank and made a deposit, right? You just made a deposit, right? You feel what I'm saying? That's how you feel. You know, the only problem is you ain't able to get no damn withdrawals. You know what I'm saying? It's a one-sided bank. You can deposit, no withdrawal. But court and bank, same thing. That's the area that you all have to process. So again, the reason why we're going through this is that I determined that if we can change and adjust your mental, if we can change and adjust the way you think about business, the way you think about the world, the way you think about money, if you will, then you can actually turn around and you can be the master of your universe. You can be the master of your universe. Hang on, there's some other stuff. Let me see how much time I got left. Okay, I got 10 minutes to go with y'all on this. Okay, I'm gonna hit y'all with a bombshell. I shouldn't. Nah, I can't show y'all that. That shit. Nah, yeah, that's bad. I can't show y'all that. It'll be a bunch of people mad about that one there. I'm gonna come off of that one there. I ain't about to get banged over the head and shit because I'm around here trying to teach y'all some shit. You know, okay. Here we go. Let's go here. We'll do this one right here. All right, Haki, read this. Bonding relationship in commerce and between commerce and corporations. Go ahead and start reading that one for me, brother.
All right, number one, there is no limited liability in nature and natural law. Hence, there is no limited liability in true commerce, which is a social imitation of the laws of nature. 2, all corporations exist to amass capital and limit liability. That is all right.
Okay,
3,
go ahead. 3.
One does not know a law case until one traces it to a bank or an insurance bonding company. 4, a corporation without bonding is a commercial non-entity which functions only upon the grace of the courts, organized crime, and the willingness of the public to gamble on a payoff from a limited liability entity that is functions only by grace and gullibility.
They talking about you right now. They talking about every last one of you all that's running around here as corporations thinking you are a person, you know, and we just told you a person is an artificial corporation. You don't know, but you run around here doing and conducting business in a namesake that you keep calling your name. You keep calling it your name, just like you keep calling it your body. It ain't your damn body. It ain't your name. You got a warehouse receipt. There's a warehouse receipt that tell you that your ass belong to the state of Georgia. You belong to the state of Florida. You belong to the state of Washington, D.C. You belong to the state of Illinois. It's called a birth certificate. Warehouse receipt. We went over that yesterday. So your body don't even damn belong to you, if you will. But the sooner you realize this and recognize this, then the key is now to use the system against itself. Go ahead, continue
5,
to read.
Corporations, by their very nature, are a constant commercial risk to society, hence cannot complain about risk. 6, a government always rules by force, and man must always guarantee his freedom by guaranteeing the right to reclaim that freedom from the government by the exercise of force. 7, all corporate government is based upon commercial affidavits, commercial contracts, commercial liens, and commercial distresses.
Read that again.
All corporate government is based upon commercial affidavits, commercial contracts, commercial liens, and commercial distresses. Hence, government cannot exercise the power to expunge commercial processes. 8, the Constitution for the United States of America, especially Article 1, Section 10, Clause 1, and Amendments 1, 4, 5, 7, regarding no laws impairing the obligation of contracts. Wow. 9, the legitimate political power of a corporate entity is absolutely dependent upon its possession of commercial bonds against public hazard. Because no bond means no responsibility, means no power of official signature, means no real corporate political power, means no privilege to operate statutes as the corporate vehicle. 10. The corporate political power of a nation resides entirely and absolutely in the commercial bonding companies. 11. The corporate legal power is secondary to commercial guarantors. Case law is not a responsible substitute for a bond. 12. Municipal corporations, which include cities, counties, states, and national governments, have no commercial reality without bonding of the entity, its vehicle, statutes, and its effects, the execution of its rulings. 13. Bonding of statutes is mandatory corporate vehicle insurance. 14. All situations involving only a promise of future payments, e.g. insurance, pensions, Social Security, etc., are uncertain liability, non-commercial gambling ventures. Thou shalt pay for his labor this very day. In commerce, it is a felony for the officer of a political public office to not receive and report a claim to its bonding company, and it is a felony for the agent of a bonding company to not pay the claim. If the bonding company does not get a malfeasant public official prosecuted for criminal malpractice, failure to take the oath of public office, violation of oath of public office, denial of due processes, etc., within 60 days, speedy trial time window, then it must pay the full face value of a defaulted lien process in
Stop.
90 days.
So, we got a few minutes left. This is why that last thing that he just got finished reading, that last little area we just got finished reading, that's why police that are at a point to where they are engaged in police civilian shootings, this is why the vast majority of them are not indicted. Because police is actually policy officers. They used to be referred to as peace officers. They used to be referred to as peace officers. Peace officers adjusted to police officers. Okay, here's the problem. Most corporate entities, you only have one elected official that has the power of governance. That is your sheriff. That is the sheriff. Okay? The sheriff is the elected enforcing party. He deputized all of the other officers. They're deputized, and they all fall under the bond of the sheriff. So if there is a liquidation, when you're not liquidating an officer, because the officer is deputized under the sheriff. You're liquidating the sheriff, the entity that was essentially bonded. So the reason why you don't have these indictments and things to that effect that happen, if you will, is because the party that actually is the true lawfully injuring party wasn't there. It's the sheriff. The police officer was nothing but an extension of the sheriff. The sheriff is the entity that actually has the bond. By the way, when you go to traffic court, you're not in front of a judge in most instances. You're in front of a lawyer. In order to be a judge, you must be bonded. Most traffic courts do not have bonded judges. They have lawyers sitting on the bench. That entire equation is done through complete duress. This whole system is a commercialized system that is structured with duress in mind. Again, you utilize the system on itself. It's not designed to be at a point of where you run around and you start breaking laws and shit like that. By the way, a law is a statute. A statute is corporate policy. Look it up. A law, there is no such thing as law. We don't operate under laws. We operate under corporate policy. We operate under statute. If you got a traffic ticket, look at the bottom of your traffic ticket. It tells you UCC, blah, 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 whatever code it is that you violated under the Uniform Commercial Code. So if you're violating under the Uniform Commercial Code, how come nobody on here knows the Uniform Commercial Code? You understand what I'm saying? How come you don't know the Uniform Commercial Code? If you're driving down the street, you going 60 miles an hour in a 50 mile an hour zone, you didn't violate the law, you violated statute. You violated corporate policy, and it is the responsibility, it's the job of the policy officer, if you will, to effectively enforce corporate policy. Hello. So why are you mad at the policy officer on the side of the road because he pulled you over? You can't be mad at the policy officer on the side of the road. By the way, you can also never win a court battle on the side of the road. You're under duress. The officer has a gun. You're under duress. You can never win a court battle on the side of the road. You must win a court battle within the court, within the well of the court, within the bank. You got to go to the bank. You got to go to the bank in order to be able to find any kind of reciprocity in that particular situation. Come on, we got to wake up. Now, I'm going to come back for a few minutes. This live is about to end. I'm going to come back for a few minutes and I'll actually answer questions. I know there was a lot of questions that was on here or whatever have you. I'll be back, in 2 seconds. So y'all want to jump back on so you can ask whatever questions you all have. All right.